Hello and welcome to It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi. Joining me today is Kimberly Poffenroth, who is Vice President of Business Development and a Market Analyst in Alberta with Urban Analytics. Thanks for joining us today, Kimberly.
Thank you very much for having me, Mario.
So you folks put out your second quarter report on the new condo market in Calgary just the other day. Tell me what the highlights were from your perspective of that report.
Yeah, of course. So at Urban Analytics, we track the new multifamily home and purpose-built rental market. So in terms of our second quarter reports, it consists of the new for sale wood frame condominiums, concrete condominiums, and townhomes. Now, of course, this was a very interesting report because Q2 fell right in the heat of the pandemic. As a result, during Q2, a lot of the sales centers had to shut down. So Urban Analytics does consider the second quarter of the year from March till May, till the end of May. And during that time, especially in the months of March and April, a wide majority of sales centers closed their doors, went to appointment only, and the real estate industry as a whole really had to transition rapidly to an online sales environment. So we did see a decrease in sales in Q2. We saw a 28% decrease compared to the first quarter of the year and a 35% decrease compared to Q2 2019, which totaled 472 sales. Now, that decrease was not shocking. To be honest, I was anticipating an even worse decrease, just considering the fact that 2 of the 3 months in the second quarter of the year fell during that lockdown period. Even in the month of June, which we classify as Q3, we have now seen a bit of an uptick in sales, but overall, the trend on the market was people were wanting move-in ready homes. That really stood out in our Q2 tours. So we did see a decrease in standing inventory as anything that was ready to go was selling quickly. And I do believe a big factor of that was people are stuck at home. They might want a little bit more space and they might, change their plans. So if you were, looking to get married this year or had some big trips planned, maybe those plans have been put on hold and you're looking to buy. As a result, we actually did see townhomes as the strongest seller in the second quarter of the year. So as I said, it was a very interesting quarter to track. I'm quite curious to see how the Q3 numbers turn out, but overall there was still some positive indicators in the midst of this negative news headline whirlwind that the world is seeing these days.
What about the inventory? You mentioned the inventory. What's been happening with that over the last few months because of the downward trend in sales?
Yeah, of course. So we saw a 2% decrease in standing inventory. So that's our move-in ready product. And we did see a decrease in inventory across the market as we are seeing some developers renting out units. So if they have complete units, they may just put them on rent fast or rent them out for a little while and then figure out the plans later down the road. So that has resulted in a decrease in that available inventory on the market, which does allow for some room for developers to bring new product onto the market. So we always like to see that decrease, and we definitely saw it in that standing inventory product type. In the outer south, that's where we actually saw the biggest decrease in standing inventory, which showed that it was the outer south suburban market that people were really looking for that move-in ready product type.
Okay. What about the construction cycle right now? Are a lot of projects still on the go? And what about new projects? Are they being put on hold or are they still proceeding?
Yeah, you know what? There are projects that are still proceeding, and the ones that have launched over the past month, even I'd say, have been really thought out to the current market conditions. So you're seeing a little bit of larger units in some of these project launches. We've really seen the project launches occur in the last couple of months in the outer suburban markets and a couple of the inner city ones. It's not there's not a lot of units coming to the market for the for sale condominium townhome side of things. So it's not concerning by any means. In fact, when I have gone to visit some of these new launches, they've actually seen some success in the past month. So that's a positive sign in a market like we are in right now. So in terms of developers maybe putting product on hold, they've really, over the past couple of years, developers have been waiting on certain projects, and we have seen this big spike in turning projects into purpose-built rental. That trend's still continuing. However, the condominium and townhouse projects that are coming to market, I do think have been well thought out and will do well during this time.
Okay, one last question. Just as we look forward to the second half of this year, a very tumultuous year, obviously, what do you folks at Urban Analytics expect to happen in the new condo market?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wish I had a little crystal ball with the COVID pandemic, but of course, if numbers continue to go the way they are, we may see a little bit of a slowdown. However, one of the things that I've been saying, and we have noticed this at certain projects, is there really has never been a better time to buy. So if you don't have a home to sell, interest rates are historically low. Just with some uncertainty in the market, you're seeing price drops and some incentives at certain projects. So it's creating this opportunity. What I do anticipate and what we have started to see is a little bit of a shift in the buyer demographic. Okay. So the last couple of years, downsizers, restarts were a big buyer in that condominium townhouse style, and they've been a little bit slower to purchase during this time, whether that's a reason of not wanting to go out during kind of COVID, not wanting to maybe sell their house, that could attribute to it. However, what we have seen is actually a bit of an uptick in investor purchasers, which is positive news, because they're just seeing this as, it is still a buyer's market. And we have seen that first-time home buyer also a little bit more active in the young professionals. And I do think a lot of that is due to some uncertainty in the global market. So maybe not traveling as much, maybe not, going ahead with plans to move to different cities during this time and choosing to purchase, but also taking advantage of these really low interest rates. And one of the kind of points I do think will continue moving forward is just a little bit more of a qualified buyer. So the people who are coming out and who are booking appointments are a little bit more serious in purchasing, as opposed to having an open sales center right now where you're kind of getting all the traffic through the doors. The people who are coming have intention. So I do think that will continue throughout the rest of the year, and it will be quite interesting to track our Q3 numbers to see, how the summer's turned out and what opportunities lie ahead for the rest of 2020.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us today, Kimberly.
Thank you very much for having me, Mario. I appreciate it.
That was Kimberly Poffenroth, who is Vice President of Business Development and a Market Analyst in Alberta for Urban Analytics. This has been It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi. Thanks for joining us today.